Hello everyone. Today, I want to share a story that might surprise you. And maybe even break your heart a little. Did you know that in Texas, if you can't drive anymore, you might struggle just to get food, medicine, or even see another human being? It may sound like an exaggeration, but for many seniors here, this is their everyday reality. Texas is enormous. The cities stretch wide, neighborhoods are miles apart, and public transportation? In most areas, it barely exists. If you picture the lifestyle of Korea, walking to the corner store, taking the bus to the grocery shop, hopping on the subway to see a doctor, forget it. Texas doesn't work like that. Here, driving isn't just about convenience. For many, it's directly tied to survival, independence, and dignity. Let me tell you about Mrs. Kim, a 72-year-old woman who has lived in Texas for more than 3 decades. She used to drive everywhere, to church, to the store, to see friends. Then her eyesight started to fail. Her doctor told her it wasn't safe to drive anymore, and advised her not to renew her license. With one decision, her driving life ended. She said to me, "The moment I put down the car keys, it felt like the world had abandoned me." Imagine that. The grocery store was just a 15-minute drive away. But on foot? Impossible. A bus? None. At first, she asked neighbors for help. But after a while, she felt guilty for constantly asking favors. So, the fridge stayed empty, and her meals became instant noodles and toast. Having money didn't matter because she had no freedom to get what she needed. Mrs. Kim's story is far from unique. A recent report showed that nearly 1 in 5 Texans over the age of 75 has no reliable access to transportation once they stop driving. That's tens of thousands of seniors facing the same isolation, the same frustration, and the same heartbreak. Another couple, Mr. and Mrs. Park, live outside Austin. He's 75, she's 70. He was the only driver in the family. Then he had major heart surgery, and the doctor told him he couldn't drive for at least 3 months. Mrs. Park said, "Once he got sick, we were both trapped at home. They had doctor appointments and medications to pick up, but no one to take them. So, they called Uber. A 10-minute ride to the hospital cost $60 round trip. A few rides a month quickly turned into hundreds of dollars. Their insurance covered medical bills but not transportation." Mrs. Park told me, "Our entire life depends on a car key. Think about that, your health, your freedom, your ability to connect with the world, all tied to one small piece of metal." Then there's Mr. Choi in Houston. He spent decades volunteering at church, surrounded by friends and purpose. But when he stopped driving, he stopped going to church. He said, "The day I couldn't start my car, it felt like half my life disappeared." Church wasn't just about worship. It was community, friendship, and shared meals. Without it, he grew lonelier. He told me, "The older you get, the more you need people, not money." But without driving, you can't reach them. Near Dallas, a 68-year-old Korean woman lives alone after a divorce. She has some savings, but life changed completely when she couldn't drive. She relies on grocery delivery now, paying hundreds of dollars in delivery fees every month. Doctor appointments keep getting delayed because she has no ride. Her health is at risk. She said, "I never imagined life would feel this isolated. When the driving stopped, my life stopped too." And it's not just about groceries or hospitals. Many seniors told me they missed weddings, funerals, birthdays, moments they can never get back simply because they couldn't get there. Imagine being stuck at home while life moves on without you. That kind of isolation doesn't just hurt emotionally. Doctors say it can shorten your lifespan. So why is driving so critical here? Because Texas is huge. Stores, hospitals, banks, they're all 10 or 20 minutes away by car. In Korea, buses run every few minutes. Subways connect the entire city, and convenience stores are on every corner. In Texas, none of that exists. Younger people can use Uber or Lyft or call a friend. But many seniors don't know how to use smartphone apps, or can't afford ride-sharing frequently. One woman told me she tried ordering an Uber once, but got so confused by the app that she gave up. Others said the cost made it impossible to use more than once or twice a month. Some counties do offer senior transportation programs, but the reservations are complicated, the schedules are limited, and sometimes you have to book days in advance. It doesn't help if you wake up sick and need to see a doctor today, not next week. Churches and volunteer groups try to help, but there are too few drivers for too many seniors. Meanwhile, programs like Section 8 help with rent, but not with transportation. Medicare covers medical costs but won't pay for the ride to the clinic. Transportation is a forgotten piece of the puzzle. So here's a question for you. What would you do if your parents lived in Texas and suddenly couldn't drive anymore? How would you handle it if they couldn't get groceries, see a doctor, or visit friends? This isn't just someone else's problem. One day, it could be ours too. Some people say driverless cars might be the solution in the future. Others hope for more community programs or church-led volunteer networks. But until something changes, thousands of seniors remain isolated, anxious, and dependent on others for even the simplest things. The stories you heard today aren't just about inconvenience. For many seniors, losing the ability to drive means losing independence, health, and human connection. It means losing the freedom to choose when to leave the house, what to buy, who to see. But here's the hopeful part: if communities, churches, local groups, and even neighbors work together, things can change. Imagine a network where seniors can call one number and get a ride from a volunteer or a low-cost service. Imagine churches organizing weekly grocery trips or hospitals partnering with ride services for patients who can't drive. If you've experienced something similar or know someone who has, please share your story in the comments. Your experience might give someone hope, offer practical advice, or even inspire new solutions. Because sometimes, real change begins when people start talking about the problem. Driving in Texas isn't just about getting from point A to point B. Before we wrap up, I want to leave you with one more thought. Imagine if every neighborhood in Texas had a small volunteer network, people willing to give seniors a ride once a week. It wouldn't take much, maybe just a few hours of someone's time. But for a senior stuck at home, that small act could mean the difference between missing a doctor's appointment and staying healthy. Some communities are already trying this. A few churches have started ride ministries, where volunteers sign up to drive seniors to this store or the clinic. It's not perfect, and it's not everywhere yet, but it shows what's possible when people decide to care. And here's where you come in. If you know a program like this in your area, share it in the comments. Your information might help someone watching this right now. And if you have ideas for new solutions, tell us. Change often starts with a single conversation. If this story opened your eyes to a reality you didn't know about, please hit the like button. It helps more people discover these stories. And if you want to hear more real-life experiences from Texas, stories about seniors, families, and communities, please subscribe to the channel. Together, we can bring more attention to the challenges people face and maybe even help create real change. So, let's keep the conversation going. Share your story, leave a comment, and remember, sometimes the smallest action can make the biggest difference in someone's life. Thank you.